Get 3 months of local news for just 99 cents a month. You'll get unlimited access to the news you need to stay engaged and connected to your community. Visit DuluthNewsTribune.com/subscribe now to get 3 months of local news for only 99 cents a month.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Friday, May 17th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
It's Friday and the weekend is upon us. If you're looking for some ideas for fun things to do, Duluth News Tribune arts and entertainment reporter Jay Gabler has some options in this week's Best Bets.
The Duluth Air Show is coming up this weekend. You've been hearing all about that, including hearing why it's a little earlier this year than most years. And a big reason for that is that some of the visiting performers want to engage with students in educational contexts. So schools, which are still in session in May, and then also in contexts like the STEAM Festival at the Depot. That's tomorrow, Saturday. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. The free event is intended to help kids from kindergarten through grade 5 get excited about learning. A lot of local entities will be on hand at the Depot tomorrow, including the Great Lakes Aquarium, the Lake Superior Zoo, and UMD's Allworth Planetarium. But there will also be special visitors from NASA, thanks to their participation in the Duluth Air Show. That's tomorrow at the Depot, the STEAM Festival, associated with the big air show happening this weekend. Also happening this weekend in Duluth, Bent Paddle is turning 11. Not a huge birthday. They had the big 10-year bash last year, but hey, 11's pretty good too, as any kid who's turning double toothpicks will tell you. So Bent Paddle's happy about it, and they are once again having their big festiversary party that is tomorrow, Saturday, at Bent Paddle Brewing in Lincoln Park. Music, beer, Prince Tribute Band, in fact, is the big musical attraction there this year. And that's honoring the 40th anniversary of Prince's historic Minnesota album, Purple Rain. Also worth mentioning, this is coming up next week, not over the weekend, but starting on Tuesday, the annual Duluth Dylan Fest, associated with another birthday, Bob Dylan's birthday. His birthday is coming up next week, and so the Duluth Dylan Fest will span 6 days, starting Tuesday and continuing through next week at locations across Duluth. For more information about these and other best bets for the week, check out DuluthNewsTribune.com. I'm Jay Gabler.
Now here's today's headlines. As the October deadline approaches for the Minnesota Department of Transportation to apply for federal funding that would drive the Northern Lights Express over the finish line, community stakeholders gathered to drum up support. The downtown Duluth nonprofit organization hosted a luncheon at the Garden venue in Canal Park on Tuesday to launch the visioning process for the rail line and to explore what it would mean for the city's economic landscape. If constructed, the NLX will operate on approximately 152 miles of existing BNSF rail corridor, according to MnDOT. In addition to Duluth, other stations along the route would include Superior, Hinckley, Cambridge, Coon Rapids, St. Paul, and Minneapolis. During the event, St. Louis County Board Vice Chair Annie Harla, who represents District 1, and Chair Keith Nelson, who represents District 6, discussed the status of the proposed NLX, as well as plans for upgrading the historic St. Louis County Depot to accommodate a new train station. Many attendees were involved with the progression of the NLX, which was heavily advocated roughly 2 decades ago by then U.S. Representative James Oberstar. Along with collaborating with the city, Harla has been working closely with the Depot. Depot Director Mary Tennis explained that the facility was built in 1892 to be a hub. She noted its access to the waterfront, downtown, Lincoln Park, trails, and the Arts District. Harla said local stakeholders plan to issue a request for proposal for a new or updated design for the station by early summer. An economic development study will also be conducted, and community input will be sought. According to Harla, investors are already expressing interest in developing nearby lots into parking and housing to support the line. Longtime NLX proponent Ken Buehler also believes the line would drum up much-needed economic growth in Duluth, as other communities with similar intercity rail transportation have experienced. The executive director of the Lake Superior Railroad Museum called the project, quote, revolutionary to downtown and our community and our region, end quote. The federal government has $3 billion in funding earmarked for rail projects. There are 67 projects nationwide that are eligible for the Federal Railroad Administration funding, with Minnesota being the only state that has the necessary 20% match for its nearly $1 billion project, commissioners said. The Minnesota legislature has $194.7 million in place, which Nelson hopes to be matched at the federal level by more than $777 million, or 80%, for the overall $970 million needed. An intentional fire set by Superior National Forest crews to reduce fuels for future forest fires has grown into a wildfire across 265 acres but was being slowed Thursday by light rain, cooler temperatures, higher humidity, and firefighting crews. The fire started Wednesday as an intentional prescribed burn near Fish Fry Lake in Lake County, just north of Minnesota Highway 1, near the Little Isabella River campground in the Superior National Forest. It grew out of control Wednesday afternoon in gusty winds. As of noon Thursday, the fire had burned across 265 acres, said Joy Vandry, public affairs officer for the Superior National Forest. The original fire was intended at about 60 acres. No structures have burned or were being threatened, and no injuries were reported. The fire has remained on federal land within the Superior National Forest. The fire is several miles south of the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. About 1/10 of an inch of rain had fallen on the fire as of noon Thursday. With 100% humidity and temperatures in the upper 40s, conditions not conducive for fires to spread rapidly. But Forest Service officials said the fire was definitely not yet contained, with wildland fire ground crews and fire engines now engaged in the battle. The Fry Fire was one of several planned and already conducted this spring across the forest to reduce areas that have a heavy buildup of dead and dying trees that would be ripe for a future wildfire, such as areas hit by windstorms or infested with the spruce budworm insect. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by the Superior Telegram's history podcast, Archive Dive.
Happy Friday, Duluth area. Looking at a few spotty showers throughout the morning hours, then some partial clearing by the afternoon with temperatures hovering near 60 degrees. It will be cooler by the lake with an easterly breeze at about 10 to 15. Overnight tonight, overcast skies return with another chance for some spotty showers as we get into your Saturday morning. Temperatures hovering around 50 degrees and then a warm up for your Saturday up to 77 degrees with a little bit more of a wind by the end of the day. Still a pretty nice start to the weekend. For your Sunday, a chance for a few more clouds and a stray shower possible with a high of 71. Better chance for widespread showers comes on Monday with temperatures falling into the 60s and even 50s as we head into the middle of next week. I'm storm tracker and meteorologist Jesse Ritka.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. A new episode titled The Bridges of Douglas County is now available at superiortelegram.com, or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Brielle Bredston, John Myers, and Jay Gabler. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday.